years, President Trump has doubled the growth in the greatest economy in all of human history. And you know what our Democratic friends have done for him? Speaker Nancy Pelosi is trying to impeach him. I don't mean any disrespect, but it must suck to be that dumb. Now let me tell you one other thing. The same people that are backing Speaker Pelosi are sending tens of millions of dollars to support Governor Edwards. And all he has given us, all Governor Edwards has given us is decline and uncertainty. Now, unless you're happy with crappy, I want you to vote for Eddie was voting for governor.
Something kind of amazing happened this week, inadvertent honesty from ABC News. Turns out that TV networks really are as corrupt as you thought they were, maybe some of the most corrupt institutions in American life, and that's saying a lot. Tonight we have new information on the backstory about leaked video published by Project Veritas. It shows ABC News anchor Amy Robach discussing how executives at her network protected Jeffrey Epstein. Here's part of it.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had hurtful allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate as well that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed, because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal.
So this comes out and ABC scrambles, really scrambles, not to find out who or why this tape was suppressed, why network executives protected Jeffrey Epstein of all people. No. They scrambled to find and punish the person who leaked the tape. They're much more committed to butt covering than they are to truth exposing. Katie Pavlich is editor of Town Hall, and she joins us tonight. So, Katie, there's really no, and I want to say what I said last night, which is watching this. Good for Amy Robach. It's every time I watch this, I think she seems like a sort of a real journalist. Good for her. Mm-hmm. There's no question executives at ABC protected Jeffrey Epstein. Why do you think they did that?
Well, because their star anchor's name is George Stephanopoulos. And of course, George Stephanopoulos worked as Bill Clinton's communications director at the White House. And when was all of this information being given to Amy Robach at ABC? When did she bring all of this to her executives to say, we should put this on the air? Oh, right before her 2016 presidential election when Hillary Clinton was running on the Democratic ticket. Now, to give you the backstory on George Stephanopoulos' own connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein held a dinner party at his house after Jeffrey Epstein served 13 months in prison for the first time he went to jail for soliciting prostitutes who were underage. And the reason
Can you stop right there? So you're saying that at the time Amy Robach took this story to her superiors and they said, I don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is. His name was already all over the news as a convicted sex offender.
Yes, he had already been to prison.
Okay.
And then after that, he held a fancy party at the same townhome where he molested a number of women and brought other men to molest girls and women. He held a party where Prince Andrew was present, and George Stephanopoulos was then at the party. And later, when he was indicted again over the summer for even more egregious crimes before he was found dead in his jail cell, he issued an apology and said, it was bad judgment for me to go to that dinner party after he had been in prison. So this all comes down to the Clintons, George Stephanopoulos working at ABC, and the circle of connections that they have there in protecting not just the Clintons, of course, because that is something that they are willing to do for political purposes, because according to ABC's editorial standards, which we keep hearing about, the standards aren't about necessarily accusers bringing forward evidence on someone who had already been convicted of similar crimes, but instead of to protect political people and friends who are beneficial to them and who have very, very close connections to people on their network who claim to be leading journalists like George Stephanopoulos.
But it's not just ABC. So the reaction has been fascinating in that MSNBC and CNN, both of which have media reporters, have essentially ignored this.
Yeah, they're still not touching it.
So why is Jeff Zucker and Noah Oppenheim, why are they covering up for Jeffrey Epstein too, in effect?
I think it has to do with politics, but we don't have a smoking gun video as we do through Project Veritas with what ABC was doing.
Right.
I don't know why they're not covering it. Maybe because the political implications for who Jeffrey Epstein was connected to happens to be people who they have supported over the years and held fundraisers for and donated money to. George Stephanopoulos also had to apologize on air a couple of years ago for hiding the fact that he donated $75,000+ to the Clinton Foundation while he was covering a presidential election that happened to include Hillary Clinton herself. And I just want to say one more thing about Project Veritas. When they first came on the scene, James O'Keefe and took out Acorn for what they were doing in terms of illegal behavior in 2010, George Stephanopoulos interviewed James and accused him of being a white supremacist. He accused him of not being a real journalist, of being an activist, and he proudly proclaimed that he was actually a real journalist after serving in the Clinton White House. And so that also has something to do with it.
When the political hacks, when the hyenas say, you're not a real journalist.
But I'm a real journalist.
How many news stories have you read? I always want to ask that. Like, you found a lot of news stories, a lot of tough news stories, Mr. Morning Guy? Okay. Katie, great to see you.
Good to see you, Tucker.
So, Judge, I want you to take like 3 steps back. What exactly is going on here? Jeffrey Epstein is dead, however he died. People are still covering up for him. Who was he working for? How did he get so rich? What was his actual business? Was he in the employ of a foreign government? Like, what is this story really about? No, seriously.
You know what this story is about? This story is about money and power and masters of the universe. This story is about the type of crime that has been going on since the Roman days. It's about pedophiles. It's about the exploitation of young women for the gratification of men who can afford it. It's about a secret society of men who share the same predilections and who have money and power and understand that they're not going to let the other one go, be blamed or in any way be sentenced for what has happened, for what he or she has done. Look, Epstein was in 2005 arrested in Florida. The United States Attorney Acosta took the case and literally gave everyone connected with Epstein, Tucker, a get out of jail free pass by giving them in perpetuity immunity from prosecution forever. Now, when you think about it, I've been in law enforcement 32 years. I never heard of anything like that, neither has anyone I know. It is the rich friends, the powerful friends, the masters of the universe who got this protection. And, you know, Amy Robach, to her credit, she had the story. And, you know, just like you just talked about, the truth is, you could have run this story. You could have had this woman. I could have proven this case in a criminal courtroom beyond a reasonable doubt without further corroboration.
So what, I mean, what happened? If you talk to people at ABC, you know a lot of people. What, I mean, what do people inside the network say?
My sources tell me that this thing was ready to air. It was in the can, Tucker. What does that tell you? That tells you it got approval, it got mid-management approval, and it was right at the end that it was pulled. That suggests to me that it was pulled from the top. And it was in the midst of a presidential race. Hillary Clinton had too much to lose. George Stephanopoulos had too much to lose. NBC is protecting Weinstein and Clinton. ABC is protecting Epstein and Clinton. She is the common denominator. She cannot afford to have her husband in any way upset the one thing she wants in this world, and that is to be president. He lied when he said he was on the Lolita Express, the plane that took them to the island where they had sex with these young women. What do you say, 4 times? We now know from the plane logs it was dozens of times. So Amy Robach, I'm sure, is right. Your Buckingham Palace pushed back, Dershowitz pushed back. But, you know, that doesn't matter because we're still talking about Buckingham Palace, even though Prince Andrew's out there.
No, it's totally true. And I would say the overview is the people in charge who've done a very crappy job running this world know they're losing control, and they're getting hysterical. Going on. Fox News alert for you. The president making news right now, talking about everything involving impeachment and the whistleblower. We're gonna take it live. Watch this.
Release it! Release it immediately. And then the whistleblower saw it, and Shifty Schiff saw it as a total crook. Schiff saw it, Pelosi saw it, and they said, we got a problem. We don't want to have anything to do with the whistleblower anymore. And the whistleblower disappeared. You know who else disappeared? The second whistleblower. And you know who else disappeared? The informer to the whistleblower, if there was such a person, which I doubt. Which I doubt. Just came out. It's a disgrace. I'll tell you what. It's so bad. These people are bad people. And it's so bad what they do to our country. They rip the guts out of a country. And it's a shame. And they shouldn't be allowed to do it. And people should stop. Maybe go to the Supreme Court. Maybe, but they got to stop it. Because we have a country to run. And these people, in order to do things, are willing to do illegal acts. It's an illegal act as far as I'm concerned. Last week, the Democrats voted to nullify the...
That's it for us. Wish we had more time. The president continues into the next hour. And of course, we'll be, as a channel, be following that. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Sean Hannity takes over from here. Have a great night.
They stick together. Because, you know, the Democrats are lousy politicians. Lousy. They have open borders. How do you like having an open border with Mexico? Do you like that?
Hi, welcome to Hannity. Breaking news. The president just held up a FoxNews.com article. The coup has started. Whistleblower attorney said in 2017 post calling for impeachment. The president just mentioned it. He's in West Monroe, Louisiana. By the way, that is where Duck Dynasty is. This is huge. My monologue coming up when we go to the president's Keep America Great rally in Monroe, Louisiana.
In their campaign to transform America, Democrats are becoming increasingly totalitarian, suppressing dissent, defaming the innocent, eliminating due process, staging show trials, and trying to overthrow American democracy to impose their socialist agenda. Make no mistake, if the Democrats get back in, you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen before. And you are doing well. How are your 401ks doing, by the way? You wouldn't feel at all angry if they went down in half. And then in another year, half of that. That's what's going to happen. First it was the Russia hoax. Then it was Mueller. Remember Mueller with that hoax? The biggest lie ever foisted upon the American people. But Democrats must be accountable for their hoaxes and for their crimes. Now, corrupt politicians, Nancy Pelosi and shifty Adam Schiff, and the crooked media have launched the deranged, delusional, destructive, and hyper-partisan impeachment witch hunt. Now we go again. Except, a lot of things have happened. Because, you know, I don't know if you saw, I just got off, I'm coming off the plane, and they hand me, look at this character. Okay, they just hand me the story. Coup has started, whistleblower's attorney said in 2017. You know when that was? That was a long time ago. It's all a hoax. They say January 2017, a coup has started, and the impeachment will follow, ultimately. It's all a hoax. It's a scam. And you know who helps them? These people right back here, the media. And then it said, oops, the light's going to go off. The CNN light is going to go up. It's going to go up. It said, from the lawyer, a sleazeball. It said, I predict at CNN will play a key role in at-real Donald Trump not finishing out his first term. Can you believe this? This is all, and this was done a long time ago. Then he goes, as one falls, two more will take their place, referring to outgoing Trump administration employees who, by the way, have been put through hell by the sleaze back there and by crooked politicians. It just came out. That's the whistleblower. You know the whistleblower, the one that came out with this, oh, the Trump said this and Trump said that. And then when they heard my real phone call, the whistleblower disappeared. Shifty Schiff, he's a corrupt politician. Schiff didn't want to have the whistleblower anymore because nobody thought I was going to release the phone call. But as soon as I released the phone call, and you don't like doing that with a foreign leader, because you got to deal with foreign leaders. You don't want them to think. Today I spoke to President Erdogan of Turkey. I don't know. Is he worried that we're going to release it all over the world because somebody said something that could have been a little bit wrong? You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, in this case, I had a perfect phone call, a totally perfect phone call. And you know, anybody that can read, you saw that on Mark Levin. But the whistleblower, before they knew I was going to release, he came out with a whistleblower, you know, like he's some wonderful person. Take a look at the whistleblower. But the whistleblower came out with this horrible statement about this call. So I really had no choice. I said immediately, talk about transparency. I said, release it immediately. And then the whistleblower saw it, and Shifty Schiff saw it as a total crook. Schiff saw it, Pelosi saw it, and they said, we got a problem. We don't want to have anything to do with the whistleblower anymore. And the whistleblower disappeared. You know who else disappeared? The second whistleblower. And you know who else disappeared? The informer to the whistleblower, if there was such a person, which I doubt. Just came out. It's a disgrace. I'll tell you what, it's so bad. These people are bad people. And it's so bad what they do to our country. They rip the guts out of a country, and it's a shame, and they shouldn't be allowed to do it. And people should stop. Maybe go to the Supreme Court, maybe, but they got to stop it. Because we have a country to run. And these people, in order to do things, are willing to do illegal acts. After I took the oath of office, The horrible, disgusting Washington Post, which is a terrible paper, it declared the campaign, this is 19 minutes, I just taken the office, and an article comes out. The campaign to impeach President Trump has begun. Oh, that's nice. Thank you very much. See the reporter over there? Great. And then during the term, sleepy Joe Biden, who's dumb as a rock, said, you fire the guy, you get $1 billion. You don't fire the guy, you get nothing. And it's on tape, and the press refuses to print it. You talk quid pro quo. You fire the guy, you get $1 billion. You don't fire, you get nothing. Think of that one. Okay? That's called quid pro quo. Not here. That was said by Joe Biden to get rid of the prosecutor in Ukraine, who was looking at his son, who just got thrown out of the Navy, who was paid millions and millions of dollars, even though he had absolutely no energy experience. In Louisiana, you wouldn't have hired him and your energy companies. They would have paid to keep him the hell out, okay? He had no experience. How old is your son? How old is that young man there? How old are you? How old? Yeah. 8. Let me tell you, he's 8. He knows energy better than Joe Biden's son. Biden flies to China. He obviously met with different people than I deal with, because we're doing well with China, but I'll tell you. But he flies with his father, who was then vice president. And in 10 minutes, he picks up $1.5 billion for his father. These are different Chinese people that I've been working with, excuse me. I called up one of the top guys on Wall Street. I said, can you do that? Nope, I've been trying for years. I can't do it. He's like the smartest guy on Wall Street. Now the Democrats are covering up slow, sleepy Joe. And they're trying to steal your vote and silence your voice. And I don't even know, because I'm looking at Pocahontas. Can you imagine? No. Pocahontas is starting to emerge from the ashes. I thought she was gone. We hit her very hard 6 months ago. I give her credit. She's emerging from the ashes. Not a nice person. 1024th Indian blood. I have more than she does, and I have none. I have none, but I have more than she. I'd love to have some. I just happen to have none, but I believe I have more than she does. Generations of American patriots sacrificed everything they had to secure this republic and your sacred right to vote. We will not let the Democrats take that incredible privilege away. Antifa, you ever see Antifa? You know what that is? That's the size of their arm. They come in with a black helmet, oh, they're big tough guys. And then they start hitting a single reporter, conservative reporter. They start battering them with it. But when the tough guys show up, Antifa says, I think we'll take a pass. Let's get out of here. Now, you're smarter, you're tougher, you're richer, you got more going. But a lot of people, they came out because they didn't like what they were seeing. They didn't want to vote for the people that were running for president. They didn't want to vote for Obama. They didn't want to vote for the people that were running for president. But when I ran, something happened that was amazing. The lines were, I'll tell you what, in some cases, miles long. And they saw something, they said, what is going on? And you know what was going on? Probably the greatest election in the history of our country. It's your election. I was your spokesman. I was a person that was able to tell a message, but I'm representing you. And now these people illegally through corrupt people like Adam Schiff that makes up what I said. He gets up in front of the United States Congress and the American people, and he reads my statement, but I didn't say it. He made it up, and then we called him on it because he never thought that I was going to release the conversation, because you just don't do that. But Ukraine was great. We called them up. Do you mind if we release the conversation? No, we don't. Why? I said, don't worry about it. Just we're going to release it. Thank you very much. And we released it, and we caught them in the middle of a giant lie. They're a scam. They're scammers.
Breaking just before the show came on tonight, a huge development. The president referred to it surrounding the whistleblower. His complaint, as we've been saying, was a political hit job all along. Now, if he wants anyone to take him seriously, he better get a different lawyer. FoxNews.com, breaking tonight, they have uncovered a series of tweets from the fake whistleblower's attorney. This guy's name is Mark Zaid. And make no mistake, they're downright disturbing in terms of it's now obvious that this lawyer is despicable, deranged, a Trump hater, a partisan hack, plotting the president's destruction, starting just 10 days after he was inaugurated. Look at your screen, January 30th, 2017, Zaid retweeting news about acting AG Sally Yates getting fired. Look at this caption. Hashtag coup has started. First of many steps. Hashtag rebellion. Hashtag impeachment will follow ultimately. Hashtag lawyers. A few months later, July 1st, 2017, tweeting, we will get rid of him and this country strong enough to survive even him and his supporters. We have to. More months, Zaid tweeting incessantly about President Trump's impeachment, comparisons to Nixon, tweets fantasizing openly what it's going to be like when the president's impeached. And of course, there is even a tweet highlighting how fake news CNN is going to help take Trump down. I predict CNN will play a key role in President Trump not finishing out his full term as president. Coup has started. We'll get rid of him. CNN will play a key role. This is the embodiment of rage and hatred and unwillingness to accept the election results, psychosis, Trump derangement syndrome. This is the so-called whistleblower, non-whistleblower, hearsay whistleblower. That's his lawyer. We're honestly supposed to believe that the whistleblower just had the best interest in the country at mind? No. By the way, and it's time to start putting him under oath, put the compromised, coward, corrupt Schiff himself under oath. Biden needs to go under oath, both of them. And that means Hunter and Joe. Oh, you get the $1 billion if you fire the guy in 6 hours. You don't get the $1 billion if you don't fire him. We'll have a lot more tomorrow night.
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.